All right, who would like to read that problem for us? Brandon, go ahead.
The table shows the ages of 10 people and the numbers of concerts they attended in the last year. Which scatterplot best represents all the data in the table?
Okay, now remember yesterday when we were looking at that graph, that benchmark question, and I told you that if it confused you to have your data chart vertical, that you could turn it this way? You remember that? Okay, and I know they're not saying X, Y, but that's really what it is. Okay, so I could put my X's here and my Y's here, and I could flip all that information if that helps me. Okay, so now I need to do pretty much exactly the same as what we were doing yesterday. I need to take each of these points and I need to find them on the graph. If I find them, I'm going to put a check. If I do not find them on the graph, then I'm done. Okay, because all of these points have to be on the graph in order for us to have the correct answer. Okay, so let's first look for 15.5. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get A a little bigger. Okay, so notice this little thing right here. Okay, everybody see that? Or is it too small? Can you see that I'm pointing at? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. That is meant to show you that there's a break between the origin and where we first start our data. Okay? So it's kind of like if you take a piece of paper and you kind of fold it and scrunch it, that's what that symbol is. Okay? So what they're doing is they're showing you that, hey, we don't have any data until we hit 12. But we don't want to have our graph be so big that all that empty space is in there. Okay, so I'm looking for 15. I go over 15 and I go up 5. Is that the point I want? Yes or no? Okay, check mark. My next one is 12, 2. I go over 12 and up 2. Is there a point there? Yes. Then I want 20 and 3. So over 20, up 3. Is there a point?
Yes.
Okay. Then I want 16.5. Is there a point there? Yes. Okay. 14.2. Yes. 18.3. 15.3. 16.4. 12.1. And 15.4. So what does that tell us about A? That might be our answer, but what do I need to do now? I gotta check all of them, right? Okay, now remember, you don't have to check every single point. As soon as you find one that's not on there or that's labeled wrong, that's on there that's wrong, you're done looking at it. So let's look at C. Do I have a 15.5 on C? I do? Because if I go over to 15 and I go up, that's 15.5. Is there a spot? No, so I'm done. I don't have to look at C anymore. Okay, and I know I wish I could zoom in a different way, but I can't. Okay, so looking at B, I'm looking for, there is a 15.5. There is a 12.2. There is a 23. There is a 16.5 and a 14.2 and an 18.3, but then it just fizzles out. It doesn't have the last 4 of those columns. Okay? So yes, all the dots that are there are correct, but it's missing information. So that's not correct. Looking on D, let's see, 15.5. No, do I have to look at anything else? Absolutely not. Okay, So am I reasonably sure that A is correct? I would say so, yes. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on? All right. Let's go ahead. So on the whiteboard, when I invite you, you are going to answer these questions looking at this graph. Okay. So before I look at questions, I always break down the graph. So what is the title of this graph?
Student birth month and height.
Okay, excellent. What is the x-axis label?
Birth month.
What is the y-axis label?
Height.
Height. Okay. Now, do you see a trend? I hear somebody say no. Why is there no trend? Why would you say no to that?
Probably because it's all scattered.
It's scattered everywhere, isn't there? Okay, if I tried to draw an arrow, there's no way that I could draw an arrow that was increasing or decreasing. So that means that this information really does not matter what month you're born as to what height you are. Okay, so we can't say, hey, everybody that's born in December is going to be tall. We can't say that. Okay, so in mathematical terms, we say there's no correlation between when you're born and how tall you are. Okay, so what does this point right here represent? So the point 1 and 54, what does that represent? Israel, what do you think?
I think it represents how tall you are.
Okay, so this 54 is our inches, right? Okay. Well, what's the first month of when we're talking about months? January. So this is saying that this dot means that this person was born in January and they're 54 inches. Okay. So then what does this dot right here represent? Born in December and they are
68.
It's in the middle, so it's 67. Okay. So the reason why I'm asking is because they're going to ask you on number 3 what 555, okay, which is this one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to erase what I've written on there. Whoops. Erase, not right. This one doesn't erase as well as the other app does. Okay. So now let me invite you. So remember, I'm going to stop sharing, okay? And you are going to click on the chat and go to the chat, click on the link, and get started in another tab. Brandon, Israel, and Anthony, hush. Okay? So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to get logged in, and then I'll look and see who is there.